So next week is the beginning of E3, so we're just a few short days away from it. Of course, it's one of the most anticipated periods in gaming. Now, this is an event that Microsoft has really been hyping up for the last several weeks. With Phil Spencer making numerous comments, numerous stories have been posted out there about how he feels this year is going to be different from past shows, how they're going to focus on first-party and exclusive content. And he's also mentioned several times about how, packed the show is going to be. It's full of games and content. But a few of the biggest titles you're probably expecting Microsoft to show at E3, some of the ones you're looking forward to, aren't even going to be there. Today we learned that Crackdown and Scalebound, both games that were shown at last year's E3, won't be at this year's conference. Phil wrote on the Xbox Wire that the show is packed full of games, which meant it couldn't give every game its well-deserved time in the spotlight. We also learned just a few days ago that Quantum Break also isn't going to be making a major appearance at the show. So 3 of the most anticipated titles, Quantum Break, Scalebound, and Crackdown, aren't going to be making a major presence at E3. Now, Microsoft does claim those games will be front and center in the next major games conference, which is going to be Gamescom, and that's just a few weeks after E3, happening in August. The other day, Phil said that they were planning on delivering a full press conference at Gamescom, which is different from their past years. They usually don't do one of those, but they said this one's going to be full of games and new reveals. While Sony has stated that they're going to be skipping Gamescom and not delivering a press conference at that event, and instead are going to be showing up at a Paris show happening in October. So, on one hand, hopefully it's good news that Microsoft has so much content and games that they feel like they can skip some of the 3 biggest titles gamers are looking forward to. But on the other, it's definitely disappointing because those are 3 games I'm personally really interested in. We were shown a little snippet of Crackdown last year. We were shown a little snippet of Scalebound, and we still don't know hardly anything about these games a year later. Those were 3 of the biggest games that I was personally looking forward to. So I think that does suck. And, even though those games won't be front and center and there's not going to be playable demos on the floor or anything else like that, it still doesn't rule out the possibility that we may get some teaser trailers or something during their conference. So fingers crossed for that. But one thing is for sure, as much as Microsoft has been hyping up this conference, they need to deliver a stellar performance. Otherwise, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm going to be pissed. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.